Hello and welcome back to day 13 out of 50 good questions to ask the tarot cards. Super quick, super casual, super important because today's question is, what lesson am I currently learning? But before getting started, and if you don't want to watch this video, by all means you can skip away, but hear me out on this. The one lesson that I will tell you before even pulling the cards is that you don't have to be perfect to show up. And you don't have to be perfect to be successful. You shouldn't really, because success isn't determined by perfection. Success is really determined by your resilience and by your passion and by how much you really want to achieve something. So do something because it's functional, not because it's perfect. And don't avoid doing things that you want to do just because you're not perfect, or you think that you're not perfect, or your plan isn't perfect. You are perfect being who you are in this very moment, regardless of any improvements, regardless of what you've been through. You are okay, and if you want something, you should go and get it. With that being said, what do the cards want to tell you? What lesson are you currently learning in life? Five of Cups, how to deal with disappointment, how to not cry over spilled milk when something doesn't go your way, how to let go of disappointment and loss and grief in your body, in your physical being, in your nervous system. How can you keep moving forward when you feel stuck? When the world has proven to you that things just aren't working out for you, how can you get through this? And how can you get through this? The Four of Swords, learning to take a break. Learning to sit with what it is that you are trying to avoid, because there's a difference between working through something and surrendering. You might not have the physical capacity to work through whatever it is that is ailing you, whatever disappointments or grief or loss that you have experienced, or just a general sense of, again, being stuck, but you can surrender to it. This is neuroplasticity at a basic level, that the more that you pay attention to something that you don't want in your life, the more that you're going to have of it, because your brain works like an algorithm. Your brain doesn't thrive on what is good for you, it thrives on what is familiar to you. And if you are constantly paying attention to everything going wrong in your life, then you are only going to have more of those things, because your brain is going to show you more of what it knows to be true, the disappointment, the loss, the grief. So the Four of Swords is forcing you to sit with whatever it is that you are trying to avoid. And as I mentioned, this doesn't mean going head in and fighting against everything and going to therapy and healing yourself, but it does mean taking the steps to just simply surrender, that the more that you fight, the less that you're going to be able to heal yourself. And also important thing to note here is to take breaks. That the more that you try to distract, the more that you try to push forward, the less that your nervous system can handle it, the less that your brain and your neuroplasticity can handle it, and the less that you can handle it at a general level. So take things slower. So what lesson are you currently learning? How to sit with the disappointment instead of avoiding it. Eight of Swords in reverse is falling out. How to not get tied down by these disappointments. It very much boils down to, not to be bleak or anything or extreme and dramatic, but none of this is real. And what I mean by this is that every single person views their reality based on their perspective. And what this means is the things that you think are disappointments and are the end of the world, somebody else might think as just a stepping stone towards their journey, because everything is a matter of perspective. Some people might take a look at everything that you've been through and see nothing but success, when all you are seeing is disappointment and failure potentially. So the Eight of Swords in reverse is forcing you to flip your indecision paralysis, flip your paralysis because of disappointment, because of your fear of not succeeding, and simply untie your hands. This again goes back to this level of surrender, that shit is always going to happen, regardless of if you try to prevent it or not. Bad things are always going to happen, because that is life. It isn't a matter of you being a good person and building up your karma, it's just a matter of life happening. And the only thing that you can change is your energy of how you react to those instances that happen in your life, and how you live on the day-to-day basis when things aren't going wrong, but things aren't going right either, and you just have to be here. You have to be in the stillness. You have to be with yourself, and you have to learn to curb the negative thoughts, because that is a big part that is keeping you in this perspective that nothing is working out for you, because it's all a matter of perspective. Some people might see failures as little successes that are bringing them to where they are meant to be. You are seeing failures as something to dwell on, and therefore you are not moving forward. You have to learn to move forward regardless of what is happening in your life, because the only thing that you can change is your energy, and the only energy that you can change is the one in the present moment. You can't change the past, nor can you successfully predict the future, no matter how many times you pull cards for yourself. You have the power of free will, and everybody else around you does too, but their free will comes from their perspective. So change your perspective, stop stopping yourself from living your best life just because things didn't work out before. Two of Wands is falling out. Procrastination. There's always procrastination in my readings, and I don't know why. I don't know what's up with the collective of procrastinating because of this fear of disappointment, this fear of things not working out. It's being safer in familiarity than being safer somewhere where you're going to be happy. You have to learn to just surrender. Shit is always going to happen, but because anything is possible, so are the good things. If you close yourself off to disappointment and to new experiences, you're also closing yourself off to anything good that can possibly happen. So what lesson are you currently learning is to how to handle disappointment, not by fighting against it, not by avoiding it, but by simply surrendering to it without letting it overcome you, without dwelling on it for too long, without procrastinating your life. That just because something bad might happen, and it will, I promise you it will, because that is life, doesn't mean that life stops. Yes, take breaks. Yes, take things slow, but stop dwelling when you still have so much hope. There's the Five of Cups always has the 2 cups left standing. That if you pay attention to the ones that are tipped over, you are not paying attention to what you already have right in front of you.